Hey guys, it's Jem from StatureYGO, and today I have a Blue Eyes deck profile. If you know anything about me, I think I'm the #1 Blue Eyes hater. I've hated this deck since it came out because I thought it was so terrible, but because I play on YGO Omega instead of Dueling Book, apparently just half of all players love this deck. So because I 2-0 it every time, I thought I'd take it upon myself to make this deck actually good, and I think I've done that by repairing every hole I've capitalized on, when playing against this deck. So without further ado, let's get into the main deck. So we start off, we have 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon. You do unfortunately have to play 2. I've tested 1. People who play 3 for the Kaiba Man are just terrible at the game. And there was a very brief stint in time testing this deck where I played 1 Blue Eyes and 1 Flamfelguard. Do not do that. It's very funny and can win games, but it's just really stupid. You're just asking to lose. Then we have 3 Sage, of course, 3 Maiden, of course. Sage's in-hand effect, honestly, it makes it so you can play 3 of this card. Otherwise, I think you'd be forced to play 2, because you do just want to diminish the amount of cards that are dead. That's what every Blue Eyes player seems to fail to do. They're playing like 17 bricks and like 1 starter and 3 wishes, which just gets ashed. Which is exactly why in this list we play 1 copy of wishes. Since we are cutting out on the bricks, you can only resolve this 1 time before side deck where we add in additional targets. But even so, drawing this card is unbelievably dog shit. You go, activate this, discard a playable card because all of our cards are playable, and then they ash it, and then you just lose. There's nothing you can do. So you only want to get to this card if you're setting it up True Light, or if you're post side going first and you have additional targets for it, which we will. And then our 1 target is, of course, Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. You can actually just search True Light with this, if you have to. Like, there was a game where I opened both of these, and I needed to get to the Sage, so I just wishes. I discarded Perulia, and then I added True Light, which, you know, it can come up, but if you're adding True Light, other shit's going wrong. And then 1 Mausoleum as the engine requirements. We're playing enough bricks here. Like, these 3 are honestly bricks. Like, yes, this is E-Telly for level 8, which, with our extra deck specifically, is actually pretty fucking good. But then, like, True Light and Maz, like, drawing these cards sucks. Thank God this can place from other locations in the deck. For the Primite stuff, we play, of course, 3 Barrel. This is pretty self-explanatory. This card, either they have Imperm Ash or you win the game. Then we play 3 Lordly Load, of course. This is the best card in the deck. One thing I hate about this card, despite it being great, is that the search effect is mandatory, so this has to be your first search into Droll. Otherwise, you can't flip it up or activate it, which means you can't get that extra body. Then, while we do play Drill Beam like every other player who's ever read a Primite card, we also read Primite Fusion, unlike every other player that's read a Primite card. This is probably the best extender like in the game. It just says shuffle back 2, summon a guy that is a mini Floodgate and summons a guy from deck, or you can make like Tyrant or Chaos or any Dragon Fusion, and then it's Ash Bait because you can banish it from your graveyard. We don't play any search targets for this, but while the fusion is in the graveyard, you can actually activate this because it can add the fusion from graveyard to extra deck, and people ash this so often on follow-up, it's insane. This is a control deck, so if you can eat Ash Blossoms on follow-up, that's always good. Then, of course, we have the honorary Primite card, Bestial Magnemite. This card is so insane into Cool Tune and can stop follow-up plays on Branded. You just have to play this. If you want more information on why this is crazy into Cool Tune, I recommend watching Lucas Sacco's second place YCS Columbus deck. He gives a great argument for playing this card, and it's the argument I've been using to support playing it in my main deck for quite a while. Then the reason you play the deck is the 3 effect Veiler. Being able to search anywhere from 1 to 3 cards, and 1 to 3 effect Veilers during your combo makes this so resilient into breakers, which is the direction people are going in this format. And then, of course, it also helps that you contribute your spheres for cost, even if it's negated. Unless it's negated by Crown specifically, because Crown can be targeted. But even then, if they go Crown target, I'm going soft rails, but if they go Crown target spheres, you can chain True Light to summon, and then chain spheres to attribute itself for cost, and bounce your True Light. Or if you want the body, you can just bounce like Mausoleum, or if they have a card, even better. But anyway, for the rest of the hand traps, we play 3 Ash. Of course, being up to Ash Charmies is great, but also Ash is just a great hand trap. We play 3 Bell. Every card, aside from Veiler, where we play 3 because we want to search this and because we can normal summon it, It really plugs the problem with Veiler in this format, which is that every hand trap you want to be able to be fine if you top deck it, because Q is going to make you top deck dead cards more often, so you want those dead cards to be live. So being able to do like Ash and Bell, which are live on your opponent's turn, or Veiler, which is a normal summon, to make your synchro plays, or your link one. And then we play one Mourner, which is also live going second, but we do just play the one. We could play multiple, like I said, because you can activate it on both turns, but I think it's a little too niche for that. The one of is fine, just so we can play essentially 7 copies of Imperm with the Veiler Mourner Imperm. Then of course 3 Purge. We're a deck that can play this card, so we may as well. It doesn't conflict with anything except for Magnuma and 1 card in the extra deck, which it only kind of conflicts with. And then to make sure that Purge is live at all times, we play 3 Imperm. Shout out Imperm for being the best board breaker. Being able to just activate this card on your turn is really useful. Then for the Charmu we used to play, we actually play Perulia. We do side the Fua, and I'll explain why Fua is in the side. Perulia is kind of just a skill check against bad players, and it is just 1 dead card, so we're fine, because we do have 1 discard through our line with the Wishes. But Perulia is definitely better than Fuelos because it is guaranteed 1 draw, whereas Fuelos is not. So this is at worst an upstart, and at best it skill checks our opponent into killing himself in game, of course. For the extra deck, we play 2 Spirit. We can shuffle these back with Primite Fusion or with the Ultimate Fusion in the side deck, so we're really comfortable playing 2. The 1 Seals has the same recursion power, but we don't really need to. A lot of our grind comes from Synchros and Fusions. Then we play 2 Spirit. Spirit is just great. Playing 2 is fine, even though we don't play that many targets. We do just play 4. But of course that Graveyard negation effect is really great. And there are some niche interactions, specifically into Yummy, K9, and Power Patron, where that Floodgate effect does come up. Then for the targets, we of course play 1 Ultimate. If I was going to change anything in the extra deck, it would probably be to play 2 of this, but it's really not necessary, so I just haven't had to take out any of my utility. 1 is Azorize as a broken card into Cool Tune and Doomsy. They just cannot destroy your stuff for 2 turns, and then he tags out into a Blue Eyes afterwards. This card is crazy. Another thing that's important is this is one of 2 ways for you to protect yourself against the Mirror Jade board wipe in the end phase. I guess the 3rd way would just be to OTK them. 1 Lightstorm is great at clearing back row, specifically Striker is 1 instance where that can come up. The other instance it can come up is against Draco Tail, where they set their cards off their effects, and you can summon Lightstorm off of your Spirit and then pop those set back row. They only have 1 Rahu, so they're kind of fucked. Then of course we play 1 Ancient Fairy Life Dragon. You do need the option to kill, even if you're not always going for it. So being able to Ancient Fairy Life Dragon and attack in defense position after it's summoned in the battle phase off of your Spirit is really, really crucial. You can also very nichely synchro summon this card for a draw with Magnamut and a tuner that has had its level increased by specifically Cool Tune RS. Speaking of weird level shenanigans, we do play Psychic and Punisher. I've honestly made this every match I've played this deck except for a few. There are a lot of situations where you can synchro summon this. They're all very weird. One of them is against back-to-back with a Bestial and a level 1 tuner. Another is with a level 8 and a hand trap tuner like Ash, Bell, or Mourner. The other is with the Primite Fusion and a level 1 tuner with a RS on board, because it'll be 8 and 1, they both get increased. So instead of a 9, you can make an 11. This card's effect is crazy. It can trigger your Maiden, which is really funny. But this card is super necessary. I've won every time I've summoned it, and I've been able to summon it just so often. Then for the fusions, we play 1 Tyrant. I wish I could play 2, but I just don't have the space. 1 Neo. This card is super necessary. That Wishes effect is honestly the only thing keeping it in the main deck. 1 Chaos as just a super versatile target. Being able to have a level 8 extender that clears a body and puts back your resources is something a lot of decks don't have. This is just insane. Then we play 1 Brazilius. While the Floodgate effect can interact with decks like Cool Tune, you never really use it for that. You're pretty much exclusively using it to get 2 level 8 bodies and shuffle back your resources. And then, like I mentioned, with RS on board, you can use this to make Psychic and Punisher, which comes up a lot. Then for the last card in the extra deck, we play 1 Dingirsu. This card fucks Doomsy over. It's good into Cool Tune. It's just 2 level 8s. You make this, you send a guy, and then you can protect from destruction. Even if you went through Dominus Purge, that protection effect still applies. For the side deck, we play 2 Dragon's Mind. You know, this is pretty self-explanatory. You can pretty much get to Blue Eyes through any amount of hand traps in any hand because of your Primite stuff, because of your Link 1, because of your fusions. This card is just always live, and it is just a better Judgment. Optionally, you could swap one for a Judgment, but I do just like the versatility of when you're siding going first and you're taking out the cards that want to be discarded, being able to discard this and reset it is super nice. Then we play 3 Fua. The reason you side the Fua is similar to some other lists I've seen, but I haven't really heard this said straight up. When you're going second post side, one of the tools you really want to use is Ultimate Fusion, and the best way to get to the Ultimate Fusion is your Wishes. But Wishes is still super vulnerable to Ash Blossom. Even though you can bait the RS early, they still have that Ash in hand. So what Fua does is either takes the Ash out of their hand, or if this resolves, it is really, really suboptimal for your Cool Tune opponent to search Ash Blossom. So that is really, really important. It insulates your plays anywhere from 1 to 2 times, or just draws you cards. This card is super, super nice. Specifically in the side deck, I would not recommend maining this card. And then alongside the Ultimate Fusion, we side this in going first or second, no matter what. We just do not want to have an overwhelming number of bricks in the main deck, so we are able to side out suboptimal bricks and suboptimal cards, like if a certain hand trap is bad for this, which is why we're fine putting this in first and second. But specifically when we go first, we can accompany it with an additional Wishes. When we're in the hand trap war, having an additional starter in your hand can be good. So we do just play 2, and then of course since we have the second target, we can resolve both, which means on that turn 3 grind, we can search whatever we didn't search turn 1 and kill our opponent like that. And then to ensure it resolves and our other plays resolve, we play 1 Called By. This can be sided in going first just because it is so incredibly versatile. This card really needs to be banned, but until it is, it'll have a good place in our side deck. Then we play 3 Forbidden Droplet. This card should definitely be Forbidden Crown if you can afford it. Shockingly, I cannot. But, you know, this card is still just decent. One wish list thing I have is I wish that True Light cleared both boards like Fire King Island so that you could send it off Droplet. But unfortunately, Konami does not like Blue Eyes players, despite what it may seem, because they keep printing more bricks for us to play. Then we play 1 Druisworm. This is just an additional target off Magnuma, and it's good into a few matchups, especially Branded, where getting this on board trades with a follow-up play, which, you know, Branded follow-up represents like 10 interruptions and 10 bodies, and then Druisworm also trades with the body, or can just crash with a 25 monster left in attack. Then we play 2 Droll and Lockbird, which could be a Nibiru. There definitely is incentive in this deck to play Nibiru, which is the next card in our side deck, but until then, Droll is just really strong. What is mentioned in Lucas Sacco's second place YCS branded build is the combo with Fua and Droll, where if they like summon a guy, search a guy, and you go Fua, then they go Chain, Cool Tune, Synchro. They add a guy, they Synchro into Trackmaker to not give you the Fua draw. And then they go Trackmaker, Rotary to search, and then you go Chain Droll, and they've lost everything. So Fua and Droll, I think this is the only format where Fua plus Droll is actually a good combo, instead of just being dead and forcing you to choose which interaction to use. So Fua Droll, really good into Cool Tune, something to keep in mind. Our last card is Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon. This card is similar to the Pep, where it just has a ton of really weird situations where it can come up where you don't really have any other synchro that fills the same gap. I think the most common one previously would be making Nib or a Nib token with a level 1 tuner to summon this card. But with all the level modulation stuff, I think there's too many things to point out that really make it easy to describe briefly in this deck profile. But I trust that you can figure it out and realize why this card is so damn good. And then of course it is better if we do play True Droll. Now the one thing I do need to mention is that this actually isn't my list that I've been testing. I know I've tricked you all. This is actually 1 card off from my normal list. And that 1 card is that these 3 droplets in my typical list are not 3 droplets, but 2 Nibiru and 1 card called like Deranged Dragon of whatever the hell. I have no idea what set that's in. I do not own that card, but I've been playing it online. It is a Spheres target that non-target places a counter on an opponent's monster. And while that counter, even if this guy leaves the field, while that counter is on that card, it cannot be used as material. Furthermore, even though it has 0/0 when summoned off Spheres, if it battles an opponent's monster, you destroy that monster and then destroy itself at the end of the battle phase. Who cares if this guy's gone? This card is broken. It keeps you alive with that battle phase effect or forces them to use removal on suboptimal cards and traps a Cool Toon Body or a Walbaz in the monster zone. That card is so insane, and I do recommend you play it. The second that card arrives in the mail, it will be slotted in alongside the 2 Nibirus in the place of what is a suboptimal card for as long as I don't own Crown. But shout out Deranged Dragon, shout out Blue Eyes, shout out Konami for printing some of the worst cards I've ever seen, and shout out to me for making them playable. So with that, I'm out. See you later.